Consciousness manifests itself in what it calls the dark waters of potential in the form of spirals. In that angular rotation of the spirals, everything within that consciousness dynamic has to be created in that order. So all things that solidify around a center. And it solidifies according to the yin and the yang perspectives. One aspect has to be a yang, the other aspect has to be a yin. And since everything is spiraling in a spiral around a spiral, then it stands to reason that all things were created around a center. The center does not necessarily have to be a stick with something running around it. The centrifugal line of force that is invisible to us can act as the axis of consciousness, around which the elementals, through accretion, solidify themselves. That's how gravity takes place. The Earth itself has a centrifugal or center of reference around which the matter that we see has accrued. Depictions of this have been shown around the world constantly and is buried in the Vatican. Depictions of the fact that sailors who sailed into certain areas or zones of activity or places on the planet never returned. This is an actual depiction of the world as brought back by ancient mariners, and as a result, because of what it is that the Earth is really about, those who want to keep you in lockdown tell you that the whole damn thing is smooth, that somehow there's a top. But when John Glenn went up on the cover of Look magazine 1967, I believe, it showed the top of the world as a whole. And once that happened, NASA, the government, and the secret government, the shadow government, said anyone taking pictures of the world has to airbrush the both ends where the hole is before they release it to public. Now what we have are shots of NASA, please, showing you the top of the world. Some deep shit, right? And just when you thought that there wasn't something else to think about, now you know there's a hole in the fucking Earth.
Admiral Byrd said
right. Back in the 40s. Now what are you going to do about it? You're going to sit there and say, ooh, oh, that's some deep shit. Let me take another tote. Here's what they try to tell you is the Arctica and Antarctica. The Arctic and the Antarctica. But they never tell you what's going on. And as Maurice said, Admiral Byrd said that. In fact, he flew over what was called the North Pole, and as he was flying, he went down because he thought he saw something to a low trajectory and height, and began skimming at the top of the trees. And he said, well, wait a minute, where are we, over Greenland? He said, well, wait a minute, Greenland don't have palm trees and these different kind of fauna. It don't make no sense. Where are we? He was flying inside the planet. Started to call back, and all of the communication, this is in his log, which the government confiscated. Started to call back to ask, where am I, where are my bearings, and all of the communication shut down. As he flew, he documented, and I read it, he said he saw animals that he thought were extinct. And only because his plane was running out of gas did he not either land or keep going. And he was flying, he said, for at least 500 miles before he turned around and flew back out. When he returned, the government said, Okay, that's it. Thank you. And tried to assassinate him. Byrd. Said, yep. He took 4,000 men with him. Right. Now, we're just going to get to that. He convinced some members of the military that our government has not been too truthful to us. And he came back with evidence of this and was able to grab up a few thousand men to make a move to get in there. But as he entered the lip to get in, he started getting fired upon. To this date, jets fly over the aperture to make sure that no commercial plane flies over the North Pole. This is a photograph taken January 1967 by the satellite ESA 3, clearly showing the hole in the North Pole. We live on a fucking donut. Maybe why Dunkin' Donuts is so damn popular. Yeah. The light is the sun. And you have to remember that our angle to the sun changes as it spins. So the satellite may take pictures that are reflective. And remember also that the cameras that are taken up there are created to reflect the light of the sun onto the place where it is to take the picture of. So there is clearly a hole. Listen, looky, looky. There's your earth. There's your hole. There's your hole. There's your hole. Now, get ready. What you are seeing is a satellite shot zooming in on the hole and taking pictures of projected light inside. What are you looking at? Right here. No, you're looking at green. Mountains, vegetation. You don't understand? It means that the earth has life, not only living on the outside borders of it, but the inside borders. And that whatever that energy is that travels from the top of the North Pole out to the bottom of the Antarctica, there is a centrifugal and countercentrifugal force that is also creating gravity on the inside as well as on the outside.